Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty special, I think. A really unique piece of science fiction anime, Masaaki Yuasa's 2008 series, Kaiba.
Yeah, Kaiba. It's one of those shows that really sticks with you.
It really does. And we kind of have to start with the big paradox, right? Because it hits you immediately.
Absolutely. The look of it.
Yeah, you look at Kaiba and it's soft, it's rounded. Honestly, it looks like a cartoon from, I don't know, decades ago.
Like something Osamu Tezuka might have drawn, almost. That retro-futurist vibe.
Exactly. Which seems completely at odds with what we think of as cyberpunk. You know, the grit, the neon, the rain-slick streets.
Right, none of that typical aesthetic, but that visual clash, that dissonance, that's actually the key. That's what makes it so powerful, I'd argue.
So our mission today is basically to unpack that, to show you how Kaiba uses this almost childlike look as a tool.
Yeah, a critical tool. It refuses to let you get comfortable or like romanticize the dystopia. There's no cool decay here. It forces you right into the human cost.
The harrowing reality of it all.
It's cyberpunk stripped right down to its bones. Its most brutal human core.
And it all spins around this one central piece of tech.
The memory chip.
Right. The idea that you can digitize human consciousness, all your memories, your personality, who you are, onto this little conical chip.
Which means suddenly your body, it's just a container. Interchangeable.
Yeah.
Disposable even.
And that one technological leap instantly creates this incredibly stark class divide. It's baked into the system.
Totally baked in. If your mind is just data and your body's just, hardware, then bodies become commodities.
Things to be bought and sold.
Exactly. So you have the wealthy elite living up above these memory-wiping clouds, swapping bodies like outfits, basically, staying young and healthy forever.
Well, below the clouds, it's a different story.
A much darker story. The poor down below are essentially resources. Their bodies are harvested, their memories can be trafficked, they're raw materials for the elite's immortality.
When the self becomes data, it literally becomes inventory on a shelf.
It's the ultimate commodification, isn't it? The soul itself, or what passes for it, becomes a product in this post-human market.
So your memories, your experiences, your personality, it's all just quantifiable data.
Quantifiable, transferable, sellable, or erasable. It completely severs that connection we take for granted between mind and body.
And the body's value is then just what the market decides, based on looks or youth or strength.
Pretty much. Market forces dictate the value of the vessel.
But hold on, if the mind, the self, is on the chip, why is the empty body still so valuable? Like, why would a poor family even care about getting money for the vessel if the person is supposedly gone?
That's the rub, isn't it? It shows the system's inherent cruelty and maybe a lingering attachment to the physical form, even if logically it shouldn't matter. The body represents value, even empty. That's a symbol of potential, maybe? Or just the final grim transaction.
It's a terrifying tension.
And it allows for exploitation that goes way beyond just, stealing someone's labor. This is about consuming their entire lived experience, annihilating it sometimes.
Which brings us to Chronico, episode 3. That story is just devastating.
Oh, Chronico's story is essential. It's the system's cruelty in microcosm. She's this young, poor girl trying to help her family.
So she sells her body.
Right. Sells her body, believing her consciousness, herself, will be saved onto a chip. That's the promise, the hope she clings to.
But it's a lie.
A complete betrayal. The doctor involved, he just discards her memories, throws them away into the void like trash. Her entire life, everything she was, hopes, dreams, gone, annihilated, just to make the transaction quicker, cleaner.
And her body, still valuable, is just sold off, empty.
Yeah. It's hard to watch. It shows how utterly worthless and disposable individual human existence becomes in this market logic. It's chilling.
Absolutely chilling. And predictably, this kind of system spawns a whole criminal underworld, right?
Oh, definitely. You see this thriving black market, people trafficking bodies, valuable memory chips. Yeah, it's grim.
But maybe even worse is the memory manipulation?
Yes. The idea that someone can literally go in and create fake memories, surgically implant them.
To change your loyalty, rewrite your past, your whole sense of who you are.
Your own history becomes this unreliable thing that can be weaponized against you. The profound violation.
And that leads us right into the next big area, the existential fallout. What does all this do to basic human connection? To trust, to identity itself?
Well, the show initially seems to offer a simple answer, right? Back to that mind-body problem. It suggests identity is just the sum of your memories, your data.
Like with the main romance between Nero and Kaiba?
Exactly. Nero loves Kaiba, the essence of him, whether he's in his original body or, well, spoiler, even when he's temporarily in Chronoco's stolen body.
Suggesting the connection transcends the physical. It's based on that core data, that memory essence.
But then, yeah, you have Warp, our protagonist. Wakes up with amnesia.
A complete blank slate. What was that term you used?
Tabula rasa.
Tabula rasa, right. Blank slate. No memories he can access anyway.
Not at all. And yet,
he's not just passive, he has agency. He shows curiosity and, crucially, empathy. He has a moral compass, even without a recorded past.
Precisely. And that's the big challenge to the whole system's premise. If identity is just static data, a file you load, Warp shouldn't really be anything. He should be inert.
But he isn't.
He isn't.
Yeah.
His journey strongly suggests that identity isn't just an archive. It's something dynamic, maybe an ongoing process of becoming. Perhaps there's something inherent there, some core humanity that resists being purely digitized.
Which makes the rest of society busy editing their own memories seem even more lost.
Definitely. There's this crisis of authenticity. If you can just cut out bad memories, download fake happy ones.
Right.
Are you still, Jill?
Or are you just a carefully curated product?
A walking Instagram feed of a life.
Kind of. And it's insidious. Look at Nero again. Her fierce loyalty to Popo, the revolutionary leader.
Yeah.
It's built on an implanted lie. A horrific fake memory that Warp, the person she feels drawn to, murdered her parents. That's the bedrock of her motivation.
Wow. So trust, it just disintegrates. How can you trust anyone, even yourself, when memories can be fabricated so easily? Genuine connection becomes almost impossible, leads to incredible loneliness.
Which, I guess, brings us to Vanilla, the corrupt ship sheriff.
Oh, Vanilla. Such a tragic character in his own way. He's corrupt, yeah, but he develops this intense, genuinely felt infatuation.
With Chronico, right, but it's not Chronico inside.
Exactly. He's fallen for the person inhabiting Chronoco's body, who is actually Kaiba, our male protagonist. He's in love with a physical shell, or rather, his idea of the person tied to that shell.
But his feelings seem real enough to him. They even lead him to act heroically later on, a kind of redemption.
A real human redemption. But think about the foundation. It's entirely based on a delusion, a misunderstanding rooted in the body he sees. It's a heartbreaking complexity.
It shows how love, trust, all of it just crumbles when the self isn't anchored, isn't verifiable.
You can literally give your life for someone who fundamentally isn't who you think they are. The system destroys the very possibility of stable relationships.
Okay, pulling back a bit. Kaiba isn't just doing its own thing in isolation. It's clearly talking to the giants of cyberpunk literature.
Oh, absolutely. It's in direct conversation. You can start with Philip K. Dick.
Right. The memory and reality stuff feels very Dickian. Like, do androids dream of electric sheep?
Definitely. Both explore how fragile memory is, how unreal reality can feel, but Dick often focused on the individual's paranoia. Right? The fear that my memories might be fake, that I might not be who I think I am.
Kaiba takes that internal fear
and makes it systemic, universal. It's not just a possibility you worry about. It's how society operates. Memories are openly bought, sold, stolen, edited. It's normalized. Dick asks the question. Kaiba shows you the society built on the disturbing answer.
And then there's William Gibson. You feel his influence, too.
For sure. The whole high-tech, low-life dynamic, that's pure Gibson.
Yeah.
The rich living in luxury up high, the poor struggling in the muck below.
Classic cyberpunk structure.
But again, Kaiba twists it. It literalizes Gibson's ideas, like meat puppets or disposable bodies, where Gibson might have focused on corporate data theft, which is somewhat abstract.
Kaiba makes it physical?
Visceral, yeah. The poor are literally farmed. Their bodies and memories are harvested like crops, like cattle. The critique becomes incredibly direct, moving from data exploitation to actual physical resource extraction. The lowlife aren't just poor, they're the raw material for the high tech.
And the setting's different too, not the usual gritty city.
Right, it's this surreal, sprawling cosmos. And the power isn't some shadowy megacorp, but this weird, seemingly feudal monarchy, all overseen by this godlike, rather indifferent AI. It shifts the usual cyberpunk power dynamics.
That structure you mentioned earlier, the way the show is built, that feels important too.
Hugely important. It functions as part of the argument. The first half is mostly these intimate, standalone episodes. Vignettes, really.
Like Chronico's story, designed to make you feel empathy.
Deep empathy. You connect with the individual suffering on a gut level. You feel the injustice personally.
And then halfway through, it shifts gears.
Dramatically. It pivots into this complex, serialized plot about politics, revolution, the bigger picture. It reveals the macro systems, the clone kings, the AI, the flawed Isudan revolution.
The very systems that created the individual suffering you witnessed earlier.
Exactly. It's a deliberate progression. It argues structurally that the personal is political. First, you feel the pain, then you understand the architecture of that pain. It's like leading the audience towards a political awakening.
And even the revolution Isuban isn't presented as a pure force for good.
No, it's shown to be compromised, corrupted itself, which highlights how entrenched the problems are. It's not just about bad rulers. It's the system itself that perpetuates the cycle.
Okay, let's circle back fully to that aesthetic, the cartoony look. We touched on it, but why that specific style?
Well, like we said, it's the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a deliberate choice to use this simple, rounded, almost childlike style, echoing Tezuka.
And smash against these incredibly mature dark themes: violence, systemic oppression, sex, existential horror.
And doing that acts as a metacritique of cyberpunk itself. So much cyberpunk relies on making the dystopia look, well, cool.
Right, the Blade Runner look, the aestheticization of decay. You kind of admire the visuals even as you deplore the society.
Kaiba just refuses to play that game. The simplicity denies you that distance, that aesthetic pleasure. There's nothing cool about seeing a character dissolve into goo or seeing Chronoco's empty body tossed aside.
It forces a more direct confrontation with the horror.
An unvarnished one. The violence, when it happens, is often understated. Visually, characters might just melt or break apart simply. It's not graphic in a gory way, but the implications are horrifying.
It bypasses the spectacle and goes straight for the ethical and emotional core.
Exactly. It makes you engage with the substance of what's happening. That's why people call it warm cyberpunk.
Warm cyberpunk, I like that.
Yeah, it prioritizes that raw human feeling, the empathy, the tragedy, over fetishizing the tech or the style. It's an aesthetic that serves the human story, making it incredibly effective and uniquely critical.
So, bringing it all together then, after digging into all this, what's the final takeaway for you? What's Kaiba's ultimate statement?
I think Kaiba uses its unique setup, the memory tech, the visual style, to deliver one of the sharpest, most humanistic critiques of power and exploitation in modern sci-fi. It really forces you to see identity as this fragile thing.
Something constantly under threat.
Constantly at risk of being deleted, sold, rewritten by those in control. It's terrifyingly precarious.
And the pursuit of immortality through this tech, it backfired.
Massively. Kaiba shows us that by trying to conquer death, by separating mind from body, they inadvertently destroy the foundations of trust, authenticity, and real human connection.
So the real danger isn't the technology itself, complex as it is.
No, I think the show suggests the deeper danger is what we lose in the process. The empathy we risk discarding when we start defining ourselves and others as just quantifiable data.
If we're just data points, what happens to the messy, illogical human parts, the compassion, the ability to feel for someone like Chronoco?
That's the question Kaiba leaves you with. It forces you to confront what it means to be human in the face of technologies that seem determined to reduce us.
A really vital question. What part of us ultimately can never be digitized, never be commodified? Definitely something to think about long after this deep dive. Thank you for joining us.